What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe all of our YouTube videos by hitting that notification bell, by subscribe button, as well as share with your friends. In the Cash App, I will put that in the ticker or the comment section after this video, as well as our PayPal is at Broderick Masters, Cash App $ BJ Matthews. Let's get it popping. All right, man. So happy Tuesday morning to y'all. I hope y'all all in good health right now, man. This is going to be a pre-recorded video. I want to talk a little bit more about what happened last night between the Clippers and the Brooklyn Nets. Y'all know the Clippers are my team right now. I talk about the Clippers after every game. If you guys would like to subscribe and y'all are Clipper fans, y'all just basketball heads, you guys can subscribe to the channel and also hear the Clipper Talks lives after every single game. But I talk about other teams as well. I don't just talk about, the Clippers. I talk about, everybody in the NBA, being a basketball player myself, analyst, all that stuff, man. I talk about the game, and I know there's different fans of different teams, so I make sure to, cover everybody through my channel. But that's nonetheless. I want to talk about last night because, again, like I said, I'm not happy with how the Clippers have been playing on this road trip. If you go back and look at our road trip, look what we have. The Atlanta Hawks, the first game of the road trip, very mediocre team, doesn't have really no chemistry. Their head coach and their best player, Nate McMillan and Trae Young, do not get along. So they barely nailed that game off, right? Then you go up to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where you have Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, all these guys on, no game, like no back-to-back restrictions. Marcus Morris doesn't play. Luke Kennard doesn't play. Reggie Jackson doesn't play. John Wall doesn't play. Like, all these guys are off on injury, so we get blown out by the Cavs, a top-tier team. Then we go play the Chicago Bulls, which I think was probably a game where you could say we had our best ending. But throughout the game, we showed no consistency. It took Kawhi Leonard, to me, taking over that game, especially on the defensive end with 5 steals, for them to actually pull that game out. Then you go to the Milwaukee Bucks, a game where they played well throughout the game as far as the first 3 quarters, and then they could not close the deal. At the end, they were up at about 21 points in the second half, and they could not prevail. And then you talk about these two New York Knicks teams, the Nets and the Knicks, where they need to allow a game-winning shot by Nicholas Batum and also the youth of the Brooklyn Nets for the Clippers to win both games. So people can sit up and say we won, but I'm not happy with how the Clippers have been playing. This is a championship team. We're not here just to, be good and just be in the mix. We're here to win a championship, right? So with that being said, there's some things I want to talk about with the game last night. I want to talk about the other team. I want to talk about Cam Thomas of the Brooklyn Nets. who had 47 points on us. To me, look, I'm just going to keep it very, very, very simple with y'all. The Brooklyn Nets are going to make some noise in the Eastern Conference. With that team that they have right now, they have a great coach, first of all. Their coach, Jacque Vaughn, is magnificent. I love Jacque Vaughn as a coach. I think he's a player's coach. I think he's somebody that these players play hard for. I saw them play us last night, and you can just tell the energy that they brought. They had no quit attitude. That comes from, coaching, and it comes from having a culture. Now I watched Jacque Vaughn in the post-game press conference, and I saw him speaking highly of his players: Cam Thomas, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, even though Kyrie Irving is not even there. So I could just tell he's a player's coach. He's a very, very high impact coach, a very good motivator, all that good stuff. He spoke about life other than just basketball. So you want to play for a coach like that. You want to play for an older man, like a elderly man like that. Right? I know Jacque Vaughn is not very old. I think he's in his 40s, but you guys know what I'm saying. He's older. He's an OG in the game to these young guys. So that's what you want, coaching. But Brooklyn, they lost to us by 8 with their second unit, right? Kyrie Irving is no longer there. He got traded to Dallas, as y'all know. KD, did not play through injury. Steph Curry didn't play because of injury. Patty Mills didn't play. They didn't really have their guys on the court, and they still only lost by 8 points. And I'm looking at the Clippers giving up leads in stretches of games. It's just a bunch of inconsistency, but I'll leave that for another day. Cam Thomas, to me, is very, very similar to Ben Gordon. If you guys do not know Ben Gordon, look him up on YouTube videos. He played in the 2000s and, partially the 2010s. He went to Connecticut. He's from New York. And Cam Thomas, watching that kid last night, he's 21 years old. He reminds me a lot of Ben Gordon. How his playing style is. You can just tell if you're a real hooper. You can just look at his game, look at his jump shot, his confidence, his handle, his savviness, his craftiness, his up-tapped athleticism. He just has a good feel of basketball. He's just a hooper. He has hoop game. Meaning that if you put him anywhere on the court in the U.S., he's just going to go out there and play. He's not going to, overthink nothing. He's just going to go off of instinct. And that's what makes Partially a great basketball player, a player that actually goes off of their own instinct and trusting what they bring to the table. That's what I see with Cam Thomas, right? Cam Thomas is also, to me, a guy who has a lot of, like I said, confidence, but I think he has a lot of awareness, right? Watching him last night in the press conference, I watch these press conferences to see where these coaches and these players, where their heads are at, right? Because that's very important, because it shows you what they are off the court will show on the court. Cam Thomas, obviously, to me, he just loves to play basketball. He's a guy that's, he stays ready for the moment. You guys know he has 2 40-point back-to-back games. And it's just, showing how, how ready he is. He puts a lot of time in his craft. I could tell that he's a guy that wants to learn. He's a sponge. And, the sky's the limit for him as long as Jacque Vaughn allows him to spread his wings. Now, with that being said, I look at Kevin Durant, and I'm like, you know what? Kyrie Irving is gone, and there's been reports that other teams are pursuing him, but not so fast. If I'm Kevin Durant, I'm looking around, I'm like, you know what? I got some help over here. Even though Kyrie Irving is no longer there, they still got a full team, right? They got Spencer Dinwiddie in the trade. We're going to see what happens with that, because they might try to get Fred VanVleet, which if they get him, then Kevin Durant really needs to reconsider leaving Brooklyn. But then you got Steph Curry, you got Royce O'Neal you picked up, you got TJ Warren, you still got Steph Curry, you still got Patty Mills, you still got, some pieces there. So I would just I'll be waiting to see what they look like, in the second part of the season, because the team they really didn't have to give up nothing other than Kyrie and Markieff Morris. Well, you still got the scoring there. That's not a problem. The whole thing is how they're going to deal with Boston. Boston's their kryptonite, but outside of Boston, to me, in the Eastern Conference, you got the best player in the Eastern Conference, arguably, in Kevin Durant, when he's healthy. I mean, KD can, rewrite his legacy if he's able to lead this team to the finals, right? So, I mean, he can leave because his best friend is no longer there, but he can also look at it like, hey, let's see how this season goes, man. And if, I'm able to lead this team to a championship or lead them to, the finals, then that actually X's out any self-doubt or any doubt in his mind that he could not win without Steph Curry, right? So this is something to think about in conclusion. I think the Brooklyn Nets have something brewing. They also got Dorian Finney-Smith coming. This kid, Cam Thomas, Sumner, they got some dogs on that team, and they got a great coach, right? So I think the Brooklyn Nets got something brewing right now. I'm going to be back for another video. Y'all continue to check out and subscribe, like, and share this video, and also the podcast with all your friends and family, all your other Hooper friends. But with that being said, pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.